Good evening from the farmhouse. I am here trying something new this evening. I've got dinner in the oven and I have just enough time, I think, to throw some smudge sticks together. This is something that I've wanted to do for a couple of years. And now that my littlest is 2, I've got a little bit more time and I've kept up with my herb garden better. And we're going to try to make these for this fall. So I've been outside harvesting. I ran a couple errands, came home, got some dinner in the oven, and I took my kitchen scissors and my colander outside, gathered myself up a nice bit of sage right here. I've just got garden sage. I do not have white sage. That's a goal for next year, to get a plot of white sage going. And then I've also harvested some lavender leaves, some rosemary, lemon balm, cedar, thyme, and peppermint. I've done a little bit of research and I have read, I hope this is correct, that cedar is for cleansing and purification, rosemary is for protection, lavender is for calming, peppermint is supposed to be for healing and protection, lemon balm is for spiritual cleansing and calm. And I'm sure thyme means something. I did not look this one up yet, but I thought it smells good and I'll bet it means something. So I will have to look that up before I make my labels, because ultimately I will be selling these at the at a festival, the Buffalo Oktoberfest around here, next Saturday. So let's get started. Okay, so I really have watched videos and that's about it. And otherwise, I don't really know what I'm doing. So we're going to try this together, even though I have no idea how it's going to go. So the first thing I'm going to do, my sage is a little bit shorter than what I've seen other people use. But I think it'll be okay. But I am going to remove anything that looks kind of yucky, like this. If it's just a little bit, like this just has a hole in it, I'm not worried about that. But if it's kind of looking like the bugs, or just the weather have kind of gotten to it, I am going to remove the really bad looking pieces. But this is still nice and green, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it, even if they're bug eaten. Okay, so I'm going to put one down. That one looks nice. Not really sure how many to use. And I think because my sage is shorter, I think that maybe I will kind of layer it a little bit, kind of like this, and that will give it a little bit more body. So I'm thinking maybe four pieces of sage to do one of these. That's what we're going to go with here. With my gut. Going with my gut here. Okay. And then I think once that's folded up, it will look pretty nice. I think that I'm going to do cedar first. So I was going to do 4 sprigs of cedar in each bundle. So let's just kind of tuck these in here as well. Maybe do one alongside each bundle of sage. Tuck that in there. And then that kind of up against there. And tuck this last one in. Okay. Now, I have seen that there is, I thought at first that there was not an end to a smudge stick, but from what I've seen, there is. So I'm going to come down here at the end, and I am going to make a tie. And that should help hold everything together when I'm wrapping, is my theory. I've also seen that you do not want to tie it too tight because you don't want it to mold in the middle. I am going to be hanging these inside, so it's a controlled dry. But you don't want to put it too close together that they mold, but you also need it to be close enough. You need it to be good enough of a tie that they do not fall apart once they're dried, because once they dry, they're going to shrink a little bit. So I'm just going to gather this up kind of into a bundle here, and I am going to start wrapping in an upward spiral. just tucking leaves wherever I need to do that. And if you're wondering why I'm in the laundry room, it's because all 5 of my kids are still awake. Some of them are inside, and they all were when I started. And there's not a whole lot of peace and quiet to make a video. Okay, now what I've seen is once you get to this top that you kind of need to fold over, I guess. In fact, let's take one of the wraps off. Fold over so that I can catch these leaves in while I'm going up. Okay, and then what I've seen is that when you come back down, you're going to crisscross over what you just did on the way up. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going down and crisscrossing over each one. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Ouch! Those cedar branches can be sharp. The needles. Okay, so I'm just going to take the bit of, I guess I should have showed you that. I'm going to take this bit of string that was left over when I started, and I'm going to go ahead and tie it off. Okay. I'm pretty happy with the length, how that turned out. I was a little bit worried about it. Okay. And then I have seen that you just trim. Like I've got this little piece sticking out here, so I think I'll just trim that off. I don't think I really have a whole lot to trim. I'm pretty happy with that. Trim some of this off. Yeah, I guess maybe trim some of those off a little bit. Just kind of round out my sage bun a little bit. So if a Native American looked at this, they'd probably think that was a botched job, but I gave it the old college try. And speaking of Native Americans, I do want to touch on how I feel about this. I know there may be some people coming in the comments for me. That's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. There are mixed feelings about smudging if you're not Native American. Some people believe that it's the Native Americans thing and that they should be the ones to do it. Some people believe that it's a beautiful tradition and it's okay to be shared. I'm sure there's other maybe not so nice thoughts out there as well. I tend to believe that this is a beautiful tradition. I think that the U.S. is a melting pot, and that's what it was intended to be anyhow. And I believe that, that's how we should have come over here, was peacefully, or we should have stayed peaceful, I guess I should say, peacefully and willing to adapt to Native Americans. I think that they had a beautiful way of living with the land, and there is certainly much that we can learn from that. So I think that this is a beautiful tradition that I hope they feel that they can share with us. Yeah, so I will have these ready at the Buffalo Oktoberfest on October 21st in Buffalo, West Virginia here. So hopefully I'll see some of you. Okay, here is what I ended up with. I'm very happy with them. I've got 9. I did at the end, when I was trimming, I did end up trimming the end off as well. I kind of went back and looked at a video just to kind of make sure I had done everything correctly. And that's what I did at the end there. I think that probably helps with burning, getting it started and getting it to burn in through, and also drying. I would assume that would help a little bit with some airflow, letting it dry. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. I know they're not professionally done, but I think for a first time fun evening of messing with my herbs, it's a good show. So I'm happy y'all came along with me on this journey. Maybe you guys get to make your own smudge sticks at some point. But thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a good night.